When Max is finally accepted into the army, he joins his first raid in rebel lands. The soldiers storm into the buildings with the utmost brutality, using bombs and kicking people along the way. Max is shocked to discover that the so-called rebels are just terrified normal humans and immediately drops his gun. While the others arrest them, a rebel comes out of hiding and opens fire on them, but he's quickly knocked down and Chachu starts kicking him just for fun. Afterward, Max watches how dozens of normal humans are brutally arrested and pushed into trucks. Chachu asks him why he dropped his weapon and Max explains the word degenerated made him think he would see wild beasts, not just poor citizens. Chachu begins insulting the rebels and calls them trash but does admit they feel pain like everyone. However, Max explains he doesn't feel pain at all. Later, the fathers judge the rebels while flashing very hot and bright lights at them. Some prisoners deny any rebel activity, while others insult the fathers as they point out all the people they've killed. Depending on their attitude, some prisoners are sent to do daily work and others are executed. A rebel shows them the mechanical arm he had to get after the guards cut his, and the fathers punish him by putting him inside a suit filled with a gas that burns his skin. Max has to watch it all while hiding his disgust. Later, he tries to tell Guy how wrong all this is, but Guy argues back and defends his government's ways. With Max being so public, Funk finally finds his location. Later in the evening, Guy and Max are called to Chachu's office, so by the time Funk gets to their place they're already gone. After what happened earlier, Chachu wants Max to prove his loyalty, so he takes him to the forest and asks him to shoot the two rebels with death sentences. Max takes the rebels away pretending he will shoot them, however he lets them go instead. Then he confronts Chachu, announcing he is quitting. Furious, Chachu opens fire on Max, ignoring Guy's pleas for mercy. Afterward, Chachu drags Guy back to the capital, leaving Max's dead body in the forest. In the meantime, the fathers are discussing tactics to finally put an end to the rebels' attacks. However, Umnik points out this would be a great moment to put together all their guards into a huge army, implying he wants more war. The others like the idea of a full invasion, but they'll have to find a way to make the public accept the idea of war starting again, perhaps by planning a fake assassination attempt. In the evening, the rebels in the forest find Max and are shocked to see he's still alive because his body recovers very fast. Max explains Earth's health technology and points out his people don't know the meaning of fatal wound. He can only be stopped by a shot directly to the head. In return, the rebels explain that the fathers are dictators who took power by force and the towers aren't for defense, they actually send out waves to brainwash people. That's why they always go through a patriotic frenzy at the same time twice a day. Some people are immune to these waves and have seizures instead, but the government's propaganda has marked them as degenerates so they can hunt them down. At that moment the towers send their waves, so the rebels put a stick in their mouths to avoid choking while they have a seizure. In the city, Umnik does the same thing in private. Thanks to his earthling body, Max doesn't suffer pain at all, so he helps the rebels go through it. Afterward, Max and the rebels cut down a fence to cross into tower territory. As the rebels open fire on the soldiers and the alarm is raised, Max runs through the facility without fearing incoming bullets and knocks down any soldier who dares to get in his way with his bare hands. A few rebels are killed and others try to hide behind walls to continue to shoot the enemy to the very end. Max manages to get under the tower and installs a bunch of bombs before running out, tossing a rope through the hooks on each rebel's clothes to drag them out with him regardless if they're alive or not. Thanks to Max's strength, the group manages to escape to the forest right before the tower is brought down by the explosion. Unfortunately, another rebel dies from his injuries, leaving Max and one man as the only survivors.